If you can pass on a couple of song sheets to the new people. Oh, it's right there. Oh, wonderful. That's good. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tiravanachari. Yamuna Tiravanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Girivaradhari. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Natavara Radha Natavara Radhe. Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Balaram Dev Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada. Please repeat after me. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Namah Pankajanabhaya Namah Pankajamaline Namah Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangraye. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble respects and obeisance to him. Welcome all of you once again. Thank you all so much for attending ISKCON Sunday Fish program. So today's topic is why Shyamasundara becomes Gaurasundara. So for those who of you very new to the temple, first time coming to ISKCON community, so we have Radha Krishna in the center of the altar. That's the altar. In the center we have Radha Krishna. On the right hand side you can see Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, Sri Jagannath Baladev. On the left side of the altar you see two personalities. Leftmost is Nityananda Mahaprabhu and right next to him is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is also known as Gaurasundar or Gauranga. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Gauranga. So today we are going to discuss why Shyamasundar, who is Krishna, appeared as Gaurasundar. Okay. So that's the topic. So we will take a verse from Bhagavad Gita and then we will take it from there how it goes. Okay, so Prabhu, can you, that's good. So you're on top of it. So we are going to take verse from Bhagavad Gita, BG 16.21, and then see how this verse is related to our topic. Okay. Trividam narakasyedam dvaram nashanam kama krodhastata lobhas tasmadeta trayam trajet. There are three gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. So here in Bhagavad Gita in 16th chapter, Krishna is talking about the three gates to hell. So what are these three gates? Three qualities that one should not have. Essentially, is lust, anger, and greed. So out of these three, today we would like to. I mean, each topic can be spoken for hours together. But today we will concentrate on the one quality. We are talking about the greed. So what is greed, and what happens if one has greed? Is greed good or bad? What happens if one has greed? So there is a saying that there is enough in the world for everyone's need, but there is not enough in the world even for a single person's greed. Yeah. So there was we all have different gradations of greed, different levels of greed. We all can experience that greed we have, right? So there was one person who wanted to sell his house, sell his property. He has a property and he wanted to sell his property. And the property is worth of almost $500,000, $500,000. He wanted to sell it. And he put it in the market. And he waited for a month, 2 months, not many buyers coming forward. Then he wasn't sure what to do. And he really wanted to sell this house. Then he said, okay, then whenever we are in difficulty, when we wanted something, it's a natural tendency for human beings to look upwards, think about God. Okay, now God is there to save me or help me. He says that, okay, if this house is sold quickly, in next few days, if the house is sold, I will give you half of this. Yeah, that's what he says to God. So immediately, wow, so then to his surprise, very next day, a buyer comes. Very next day, the buyer comes. So then looks like he's a prospective buyer. So now looks like the deal is going to go through. Now this guy is in a he's in a fix. What to do? Now looks like there is going to be a buyer. Then I don't know what to do. How to then I have to give 50% of what I promised. Then he adds a small condition there. Whoever he says, he changes the condition. He says that the house is only for $1, but if somebody wants to buy this house, they have to take my dog, which is $500,000. So then for a buyer, it doesn't really matter, So the buyer comes and then he takes the house. Now how much he has to give to God as promised? 50 cents. So eventually, even though he promised that he wanted to give half of the money initially, but then out of greed, he did not want to give everything. Right? He gave only half of that person. And one person, he bought a lottery ticket, right, for $1 million. That was $1 million. So he says that, oh God, if I get $1 million lottery, I will give you 50% of this. Okay? Then what happens in few days? The lottery results are out. Then he gets $500,000. Then he says, oh my God, you gave half of this. So it looks like you took your quota already, your share. You gave me only the remaining one. So then I don't have to give you anything. So that is the nature of greed. So how much ever we want, we don't get satisfied. And even though we promise certain things, we want to do certain things. When certain situations come into our life, we become more greedy and we want to acquire more things, and we don't want to give things to other people or to God, right? Once one person is going through some difficulties, he is in need of wealth and money. So he goes to a sadhu. So in India, a lot of times people go to sadhus when they are in difficulties so that they can give some guidance. Right. So he goes to a sadhu and he expresses all his things. So I'm in distress. I need so and so things. I don't know what to do. Please help me. Then the sadhu says, looks like you need a lot of financial assistance and help in finances. He shows his finger and he shows finger to one object, and then as soon as the sadhu shows the finger to that object, the object becomes gold. So okay, this object became gold. Now you can take this item. So the person becomes very, very happy. Wow, this item became gold. At least my desires will be fulfilled with this item. So he takes that, but then what happens very soon? He gets all the wealth, whatever he got, gets exhausted. Now he wants more. So then again he goes to the sadhu. The sadhu shows another bigger item and points his finger, and then that item becomes gold because of the sadhu's power. Then he takes that, he spends that as well, and again he becomes greedy for more things. Then he was thinking, so every time I go to this sadhu, and then sadhu points to this some object with his finger, and then it's becoming gold. So then next time when he goes to sadhu asks, what do you want every time you are coming? So what do you want this time? He says, my dear sadhu, I want your finger. Can I have your finger, because that's what is making gold? So that is the nature of greed. So how much ever we get in this material world, we are not going to satisfy. We want more and more, and greed can lead us to a lot of troubles. So, but however, there is one verse, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 8.70, if you can put it on the screen. So let's see, we talked about greed, what happens when we have greediness and things like that. Of course, the greediness, the subject greed itself can be spoken for hours. So we are not going to concentrate too much into it. But I just briefly mentioned what happens when you have greed. So it's not satisfying. So now, Rupa Goswami, not Rupa Goswami, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Madhya Leela 8.70. So here it says that Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Mati Kriyatam Yadi Kutopi Labhyate Tatra Laulyam Api Mulyam Ekalam Janma Koti Sukruterna Labhyate. So can somebody read the translation? Anyone?
Pure devotional service of Krishna consciousness cannot be had even by pious activity in hundreds and thousands of lives. It can be attained only by paying one price, that is intense greed, to obtain it. If it is available somewhere, one must purchase it without delay.
Yeah. So just now, I spoke about the greed, but then I said greed is not good for us because we will never be satisfied and it leads us into this hell. 3 gates. One of the 3 gates to hell is greed. But here, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is mentioning that the pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness cannot be had even by pious activity in hundreds and thousands of lives. It can be attained only by paying one price. What is that? What is that? Greed. So one side we hear from Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that greed is not good. Here Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the devotee of the Lord, he is saying that if there is only one price in Krishna consciousness, is intense greed. If you want to progress in Krishna consciousness or in bhakti, one should have intense greed for it. If it is available somewhere, one must purchase it without delay. So the greed is neither bad nor good. So how we use it and where we use it. From material perspective, greed is not good because it will lead us to hell. That is one of the gates to hell. But the same greed, if we have in the service of the Lord, what will happen? If you have that, it will help us to progress in bhakti. So the greed, the laulyam, the intense greed, laulyam is very, very important to advance in bhakti. So we should have enthusiasm, we should have greed for more service. We should be hankering for more service. When we come here, if I'm doing one service, no, give me more service. We should have greed for more service, greed for more association of the devotees, greed for reading the scriptures, greed for doing the deity services. So we all should be greedy for the services. That will help us to progress in the Krishna consciousness, right? So now, I said today's topic is why Shyamasundar became Gaurasundar. So how is that related to greed? So the topic is different, the title is different, and why are we talking about, this greed here, right? So next Sunday, March 24th, we are celebrating Gaura Purnima. So Gaura Purnima is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance day. So we are celebrating next week. So it is very, very important for us to understand why the Supreme Lord Krishna, Shyamsundar, appeared or came as Gaurasundar or Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's very important for us to understand his mood, so that it will give us proper mood to worship him, and also especially on that particular day, Gaura Purnima, we can have proper worship and kirtans on the day, right? Celebrations. So now, so this material greed leaves a person empty, but spiritual greed leaves a person full and fulfilled. Okay? And in Srimad Bhagavatam also it says that there is a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. It says Canto 7, verse 15 and 20. We are not going to read the Sanskrit words, but it says that the strong bodily desires and needs of a person disturbed by hunger and thirst are certainly satisfied when he eats. Similarly, if one becomes very angry, the anger is satisfied by chastisement and its reaction. But as far as greed is concerned, even if a greedy person has conquered all the directions of the world or has enjoyed everything in the world, still he will not be satisfied. So that is, we are talking about the material greed. Material greed is not going to satisfy one. But however, the same greed can be diverted to the spiritual life. So that is very, very important, right? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Gaurasundar appeared 500 years ago, about 500 years ago. And why Krishna appears in this world? What are the reasons why Krishna appears in this world? So what did Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? Yeah, somebody can say, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So to protect pious people, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam, right? And then the third reason is the dharma samsthapanarthaya, to establish dharma. So these are the three reasons that are mentioned by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, why Krishna appears time and again, right? So whenever Lord appears, there are two primary reasons. One is the external reason and another one is the internal reason. So there are Bahiranga Karana, it is called Bahiranga Karana, and Antaranga Karana. Bahiranga means the external reasons and the internal reasons of the appearance of the Lord. It is like, last time I mentioned that, like for example, most of us are here from India. When we go to India, sometimes, so people ask, why are you going to India? Or at office, when we are applying for vacation or something, so the boss asks, why are you going to India? Why do you need this vacation? Then we give some reason which may not be what is there internally. We don't have to tell everyone, but we say that to spend some time with family, or whatever be the reason, we just tell them something. But internally you may have a particular reason why you are going there. So when we go there to India, so you have a particular reason why we go there, to whether it is to attend some yatra or some holy places or certain things, or you want to spend time with your close friends or close family members. But you don't have to mention that to everyone. You may say, people will think that when you go there, you open a bank account. Anyway, you are there, so you open a bank account, or you take care of other chores while you are there. So from external perspective, it appears that you went there to take care of a lot of other things, but internally you know the reason why you went. So your reason was to spend some time with close associates or close family members, spend time with them. So the internal reasons are not known very widely, because those are kept secret, because not everybody has to, because these are the internal feelings of an individual. So the internal feelings of an individual doesn't have to be published or doesn't have to be known to everyone, right? Only certain close associates or only certain close friends, they can understand your mood, why you are coming. Even though externally you may say that I'm going for so and so reason and so and so things, but your close friends, those who know you very well, they can understand why this person is going there, right? So there are external reasons and internal reasons why Lord appears in this material world. So we all know the external reason why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears is to spread this Sankirtana movement. So to spread the holy names of the Lord, right? So in Chaitanya Bhagavat is compiled by Vrindavan Das Thakur. So by the way, Vrindavan Das Thakur said there are two most auspicious occasions there are so many auspicious occasions, right? We celebrate so many festivals, But there are two the most auspicious festivals or occasions. So one is Nityananda Appearance Day, and the second one is Gaura Purnima. These are the most auspicious occasions. That's what Vrindavan Das Thakur says. So Vrindavan Das Thakur says in Chaitanya Bhagavata, Kaliyuge Dharmahaya Hari Sankirtana Etat Arte Avatirna Sri Sachinandana. It is that Sri Sachinandana. So Sachinandana means son of Sachi Devi. Lord Chaitanya, the father of Hari Sankirtana, appears for this purpose, to teach the chanting of the holy name. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu specifically appears, he comes into this material world to teach about the Harinam Sankirtan, or to spread this holy name everywhere. Right? That is the purpose of that. And also the continuation of that says that Lord Chaitanya comes in Kali Yuga, especially the present Kali Yuga, with his abode and all his associates and paraphernalia. He offers and distributes the chief result of Harinam Sankirtana, Krishna Prema, love of God freely, indiscriminately. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he comes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also known as Prema Purushottam. So like Krishna is known as Leela Purushottam, right? He performed so many pastimes. So Krishna is known as Leela Purushottam. Lord Ram is known as Maryada Purushottam. Right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is known as Prema Purushottam. Why he is known as Prema Purushottam? Prema means love. So he distributed the love of God freely to everyone, indiscriminately, without thinking about caste, creed, the rich, poor, doesn't matter. So he distributed this love of God to each and everyone. So that was the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is known as Prema Purushottam, right? So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, 3rd chapter, 19th verse, it says that Yuga Dharma Pravartaimu Nama Sankirtana Chari Baba Bhakti Diya Nachamu Bhuvana. I shall go spread the holy name and give the 4 forms of bhakti, devotional service, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. That basically it is Shantaras, neutrality, in discarded. Actually, basically the Shantaras or neutrality is discarded in Mahaprabhu's line. Okay? So he was paying attention only to, there are 5 types of liberation, by the way. There are 5 types of liberation. So one of them is the neutrality. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not considering that as a liberation itself. So he was saying only these 4 types of liberation. Okay. So the Lord decided, I shall make the whole world dance with Bhava Bhakti, or ecstatic love of God. So the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared 500 years ago mainly to give this Harinam, or the holy name, to everyone, to distribute the love of God to everyone. That's the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? And also when Lord Krishna came 5,000 years ago, when he came in his own personal form, Lord Krishna came, he spoke Bhagavad Gita, and he gave confidential knowledge, more confidential knowledge, and the most confidential knowledge. Okay, Krishna gave through Bhagavad Gita, he gave confidential knowledge, more confidential knowledge, and most confidential knowledge. So what is the confidential knowledge Krishna gave? What is that? Yeah, so Krishna gave the knowledge of soul. So in the 2nd chapter, most of the 2nd chapter talks about soul, Atma Jnana. So the confidential knowledge is to understand that we are not these bodies, but we are souls. And also there is Brahman realization. So Brahman realization, or the impersonal aspect of the absolute truth, that is also comes under, what is this? What is it? Yeah. So the first confidential knowledge, that's what it is. And then what is more confidential knowledge?
Devotion.
Yeah, is it devotion? What is more confidential knowledge? Yeah, okay, that's also true. Everything comes from Krishna. Yeah. So the more confidential knowledge Krishna talks about, especially in the 18th chapter, I don't remember the exact words, it is 54 or 55. But if you go to that verse, I think maybe it's 50. Anyway, I don't remember the exact words. But yeah, in that particular verse, Krishna specifically says, I gave you the confidential knowledge, I gave you the more confidential knowledge. Now I am giving you the most confidential knowledge. That's what Krishna says. The more confidential knowledge is to understand that Krishna is there as Paramatma in each and every living entity. So the first realization, or the first one, is Krishna is Brahman, all pervading energy. And also we are Atma, we are also Brahman. So that is a confidential knowledge. And more confidential knowledge is to understand that Krishna is not only the Brahman, not only the all pervading energy, but also he is a super soul, Paramatma, in each and every living entity. That's a more confidential knowledge. And the most confidential knowledge, he said that Manmana Bhava Madbhakto Madhyajimam Namaskuru. He says that I am Bhagavan. So I am Bhagavan. I have personality. I am Bhagavan. That is the most confidential knowledge that Krishna gave. And then eventually he gave this Charma Sloka, or the concluding verse of Bhagavad Gita. What does it say? Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayisha Mimasucha. He says that forget about all the religions, whatever I mentioned till now, all the dharmas, forget about everything, and then simply surrender unto me. So that is the highest thing Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. But then Krishna was thinking, I gave this instruction to everyone, but I personally did not teach them how to surrender. By my own example, I did not teach them how to surrender. So in Kali Yuga, so then after Dwapara Yuga, the next one is coming, Kali Yuga. So people, unless people are told, unless people are explained by practical example, it becomes difficult for them to surrender. So then with that mood, that's another reason why Krishna says that, okay, now I have to come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to personally teach everyone. I gave theoretical instruction about surrender, but now I have to come and teach them how to surrender practically. So that is another reason why Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So all these things are external reasons. So all these things are external reasons. So now we have to see, we have to go into the heart of Lord Krishna. We have to go into the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to see why he appeared, why he came, why Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the internal reasons is mainly for to fulfill certain desires. Okay, so the Supreme Lord Krishna, he also developed greed. He also developed greed. Unless the Supreme Lord has something, how can we have something? So we have greed. That is because Supreme Lord also has this quality of greed. And because of 3 greedy desires Krishna had, he wanted to fulfill 3 greedy desires, he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How did all this start? Where did all this start? Okay. So once upon a time, Lord Vishnu in Vaikunta. So we all know what are the 6 opulences of Bhagavan. What are the 6 opulences of Bhagavan? Okay, can somebody say that? Yeah? Wealth? Renunciation? Sorry? Strength? Knowledge? Beauty? Fame. So these are the 6 opulences. If somebody claims that they are God, so these are the 6 opulences somebody has to possess in full all the time. So different personalities may possess one of the opulences at some point for certain time, right? But if somebody has to be a God, if somebody says that they are God, they have to have these 6 opulences in full all the time at any point of time. So then we can say that that personality is God. So one of the opulence is Virya. Viryasya means Bala, the strength. So the highest strength one has, right? Krishna, nobody can beat. So Krishna in Vaikunta, in Vishnu in Vaikunta, he was feeling, so I have this Viryaras. So I want to experience this Viryaras, or the mood of chivalry. How can I experience this? To experience that, he has to fight with somebody. And in Vaikunta, as the name suggests, Vaikunta means, Kunta means place of anxiety. So we are in the place of anxiety. This is known as Kunta. But in Vaikunta, there is no anxiety. There are no demons, right? Then how can Vishnu fight or express his desire or fulfill his desire in Vaikunta? That's not possible. So, but he had this intense desire that I want to experience this Viryaras. So when he had these desires, knowing the mood of the Lord, his devotees facilitated his mood. Then what happened? Then 4 Kumaras, they appeared in front of gate of the Vaikunta. So they wanted to go inside, but then Jaya Vijaya, they stopped these 4 Kumaras. So at the time, what happened? Then there was a conversation between 4 Kumaras and Jaya and Vijaya, the gatekeepers of Vaikunta. Then ultimately, they curse Jaya and Vijaya, right? So then Vishnu comes immediately to save Jaya and Vijaya. then they decided to take 3 births as demons in this material world. Okay, so the Jaya Vijaya, those who are pure devotees of the Lord in Vaikuntha, gatekeepers, they understood the heart of the Lord, and then they decided to become demons in this material world. So in the first life, what are they? What were they in the first life? Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. So Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, and when Krishna appeared as Narsingadev, and then he had a very good fight with Hiranyakashipu. So he was able to satisfy, the greed that he had, that he wanted to experience this Veera Rasa. He had a very good fight with Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, and he was satisfied. And in the next life, they became Ravana and Kumbhakarna. So as Lord Ram, he fulfilled the desire. So, and then Dantavakra and the Shishupal. So in these 3 incarnations of Jaya and Vijaya, Krishna came in different ways, and then he could satisfy his greed by having a good fight. He expressed his Veera Rasa and satisfied his desire, right? So now, when he came as Lord Narsingadev, so then there was a fierce fight between Narsingadev and Hiranyakashipu. So finally, Hiranyakashipu killed, Narsingadev killed Hiranyakashipu. And then, but still, Narsingadev was very, very extremely angry. Nobody was able to pacify. He was roaring in anger. Then all the demigods, including Brahma, they tried to pacify Lord Narsingadev. So they could not pacify Lord Narsingadev. Then finally they send, even Lakshmi Devi could not do anything. So your husband is behaving like this, go and just pacify him. Lakshmi Devi says, I have never seen my husband like this. I don't know who this personality is. So that was her mood. She says, no, I can't do this. Then finally they approached Prahlad Maharaj. So then Prahlad Maharaj offers his prayers profusely, and then Lord Narsingadev gets pacified. Then finally Narsingadev, he takes Prahlad on his shoulder, on his lap, and then he starts licking. So Narsingadev is what? Half lion and half man, right? So he starts licking with so much love and affection Prahlad Maharaj. And Prahlad Maharaj is feeling extremely satisfied by this, because there's so much love and affection that is shown by Narsingadev in the fatherly mood. Prahlad Maharaj is experiencing this satisfaction and very, very happy. Then Narsingadev, when he looked at Prahlad Maharaj, then he develops another desire. Okay, so looks like Prahlad is enjoying this. He's enjoying my fatherly affection towards him. I am missing this, because where did Narsingadev come from? He came from a pillar. So who is father and mother of Narsingadev? So pillar cannot show that affection to Narsingadev. He was thinking, he's also known as, in Vishnu Sahasranam, Lord Narsingadev is known as Stambhaputra. He's a son of a pillar. He came from a pillar. So he was feeling intense greed and desire. I also should experience same Vatsalya Ras. I wish I have a father and mother so that I can experience the same love and affection. Then he decided that going forward, I will have mother and father whenever I come in the future. So that is the desire, that is the greed, again, the Supreme Lord develops. So to fulfill that greed, to fulfill that desire, in the next incarnation, what happens? He comes as Lord Ramachandra, and then he is born to Dasharatha Maharaj. So he had a parents, right? So then he experienced, all this so much love and affection by all the parents, all 3 mothers and also the father, Dasharatha. He was completely satisfied with that particular aspect of his desire. So to experience the parental affection, he was totally satisfied. And then during Ram Leela, so we all know the pastime of entire Ramayana. Then what happened? Then he made some friendships, Sakyaras. He experienced some Sakyaras, the friendship, the mood of friendship. So who were his friends in Rama Leela? So one is what is it? Sugriva was one of his friends, Sakyaras, and also Vibhishan became his friend, right? Even Guha became his friend. So he made some friendship. The Sakyarasa he experienced. But then while he was experiencing the Sakyarasa, even though that friendship is there, but that friendship is at the level of awe and reverence. Okay? There is some awe and reverence when Vibhishan could not put a hand on Lord Ram and play with him or do anything. So he was a friend, but still there is some distance. So there is some love and respect. So sometimes in the community also we say that, okay, even though somebody is a 20-year senior in the community or 30-year senior in the community, he may say that I have all these friends, all of you are friends. But still, from when it comes to that relationship, you may experience that other person is your friend, but still there is some distance maintained. So there is still some respect and awe and reverence is maintained in that relationship. Even though we may say that they are our friends, but there is still some awe and reverence. So while experiencing this Sakyaras, Lord Ram felt, I wish I have some friends where I can play. Where I can play, like without thinking about all these distinctions, where I can play very nicely with all these friends. So Lord Ram develops a desire to have a close friendship, Sakyarasa, that he wanted to experience, right? That is one desire he feels. And also, Lord Ram develops another type of greed in that incarnation. Okay, in that incarnation, he develops another type of greed. What was that? So he was experiencing some kind of a Madhurya Rasa. Madhurya Rasa means the mood of conjugal love. So the mood of conjugal love he was experiencing with who? That is with his wife Sita, right? So Lord Ram took a vow that he will have only one wife, Eka Patni Vrata, in that incarnation, right? So the conjugal love that Ram experienced, there are different levels of conjugal love one can experience. Okay, there are different types of conjugal love one can experience, and there is so much variegatedness in this conjugal love. So the highest Madhurya Rasa one can experience, there are different gradations of that. So then Lord Ram developed a desire to experience, the intense Madhurya, intense conjugal love. He wanted to experience that. Right? So there is something called Vipralamba and Sambhoga. Vipralamba means love in separation. Vipralamba means love in separation. And Sambhoga means when the beloved again comes and meets, then you experience that Sambhoga. In Lord Ram appearance, there was some Vipralamba also, because Ravana kidnapped Sita, right? Sita was there for almost like a year. So there was some Vipralamba experience Lord Ram had. However, that was not natural. It was forced on Lord Ram, because Ravana kidnapped Sita. Then he was forced to experience that Vipralamba, but it was not quite natural. So Lord Ram developed this greed to experience this Madhurya Leela, Madhurya aspect of it, right? And there are different types of viraha. There are different types of separation that is mentioned in our scriptures. Okay? So there is a separation, right? So as I said, Vipralamba means separation, love in separation. So why love in separation is considered to be the greatest or more intense is because when a beloved is with you, then you are seeing the beloved only in front of you. But if the beloved is somewhere else, if it's not in front of you, then wherever you look, you will see that person. You see that beloved person wherever you see. You can see in every object, everywhere you can see that person. So in that sense, the Vipralamba or the separation, love in separation, is considered as more intense and higher. So there are 4 types of Vipralamba, 4 types of separation that is mentioned in our scriptures. So one is called Purva Raga Viraha. Purva Raga means feeling of separation even before meeting. Even before the lover and beloved meet, they experience the separation. How is that possible? How is that possible? And how Lord Krishna experienced this, Radharani and Lord Krishna experienced this kind of a viraha. So it's like you heard about that other person, but you haven't met them yet, but you are still feeling that separation, the extreme separation, extreme love. So once Radharani expressed to her dear Sakhi, Lalita Sakhi, that I really want to give up my body, because when I look at the picture in my room, the Shyamasundar picture in my room, which is made by Chitta Sakhi, one of the Sakhis, I fell in love with that personality. And when I hear about son of Nanda Maharaj, I am falling in love with son of Nanda Maharaj as well. So far Radharani hasn't met Krishna yet. Okay, Radharani hasn't met Krishna, but when she looks at the picture of Krishna, she falls in love with him. She says that I fell in love with this picture, And also, whenever somebody talks about son of Nanda Maharaj, I am falling in love with son of Nanda Maharaj. And also, whenever Krishna plays his flute, I am falling in love with that personality. So now there are three personalities I am falling in love. How can I do that? How can I do that? So she feels intense, pain, and says that I want to give up my body. I cannot do this. How can I love three personalities? Because she hasn't met that, but she still developed the intense love for that personality. Then Lalita Sakhi says, don't worry, my dear Radhe, all these three personalities are same. You are loving only one person. So that is an example of Purva Raga. You haven't met that person, but still you have intense love and desire for that person. So that's called Purva Raga. And then another one is that Mana Viraha. Mana Viraha means sulking. Okay? Sulking Viraha. So sulking Viraha means, it's like unnecessarily getting angry about the beloved. So once Lord Krishna tells Radharani that, he was appreciating Radharani, right? He was appreciating Radharani. He was glorifying Radharani. Oh, my dear Radhe, your face is like moon. So then Radharani immediately gets angry. Oh, you are comparing me with moon? How can you compare me with moon? Moon has black spots on it. I don't have any black spots. So she feels extremely angry. But that anger is out of love again. So extreme love for Krishna. So that is called man. You are expressing anger out of love. So unnecessary anger. So sometimes whenever you are extremely in love with somebody, you may express different kinds of anger. Okay, that's called man. And then another one is called Prabhas Viraha. Prabhas means when the beloved is away from you. It's a temporary separation, but you feel a lot of extreme anxiety and love for the person. It's like whenever Krishna goes to gaze cows, and whenever Krishna goes out on certain work, so he goes out only for few hours, but during that time the gopis and gopas, they feel extreme separation from Krishna. So that is called Prabhas. So the beloved is away for some time, then you feel that separation. And then the highest among these is Prema Viraha. It's called Prema Vaichitya. So Prema Vaichitya, this kind of viraha, this kind of separation is that the both lovers are together. Both are together, but they still feel separation. They are together, but they feel separation. How is that possible? So once Radharani was sitting on the lap of Krishna. She was sitting on the lap of Krishna. So they are having very nice time. Very nice romantic time they are having, both of them. And then by seeing the fragrance of Radharani, Radharani has extreme beautiful fragrance. So there are some bumblebees got attracted to Radharani's fragrance. So they start approaching Radharani's face. They wanted to touch Radharani, right? Bumblebees wanted to touch Radharani because of her beauty and the fragrance, right? So then Radharani gets scared. So the bumblebee is approaching. She gets scared. She tries to send away that bumblebee, but she could not do. By seeing one bumblebee, multiple bumblebees come approaching towards Radharani. She gets really scared to see all these bumblebees approaching her. Then Madhumangal, one of Krishna's associates, close friends, he was there, and immediately he wanted to show his, okay, I can do this kind of attitude. I can take care of this for you, Radharani. So he goes and he drives away all these bumblebees. And then with so much pride, he says that now Madhusudan is gone. So another name for bumblebee is Madhusudan. Okay, another name for bumblebee is Madhusudan. So he says that now Madhusudan is gone. As soon as Madhumangal says that Madhusudan is gone, then immediately Radharani is sitting on the lap of Krishna. He thinks that Krishna is gone, because another name of Krishna is Madhusudan. She thinks that Krishna is gone, and then out of intense separation, just by the thought that Krishna is not there with me, then she starts crying. She starts crying profusely. The tears started rolling down from her cheeks, and then by seeing Radharani's the tears, then Krishna starts crying, because Krishna doesn't understand why Radharani is crying. So Radharani is crying because of separation. She's thinking that Krishna is not with him. By seeing Radharani is crying, then Krishna starts crying. Even though they are together, but still out of this, the mood of separation, they both start crying. So because of that, it made a lake. So it's called Prema Sarovar. You see, it's in Vrindavan. So that is the, the emblem of love of both Radharani and Krishna. So these are the four different types of viraha one can experience. But in Lord Rama Leela, all these things are not experienced. All these things are not experienced. So while when Krishna came as Lord Ram, he developed this intense greed. So he wanted to experience this vipralamba, the love in separation, and all these different types of viraha he wanted to experience. And also he wanted to experience Sakyaras to the fullest possible. So he wanted to have all these nice, loving friendships at the equal level, right? So then after Ram Leela, to fulfill these two greeds, then he comes as Lord Krishna himself. So in Krishna Leela, then he could experience very, very close friendship with all the Gopas and Gopis. So we all know the pastimes that happened in Vrindavan, while Krishna was in Vrindavan. So how Krishna played with all the Gopas and Gopis, childhood friends, that's completely equal. Sometimes, the Gopas used to beat Krishna down. Krishna used to be defeated. Used to be defeated by his friends. So that was the level of intimacy and friendship Krishna experienced as Krishna in Krishna Leela, right? And also why Krishna appeared. What is another reason why Krishna appeared? So during Ram Leela, by looking at the beauty of Lord Ram was extremely, extremely beautiful, extremely beautiful. While he was going in the forest, while going in the forest, or when he went to Mithila, then finally he married Sita. At that time, so many other ladies fell in love with Lord Ram. I wish this personality becomes my husband. So many ladies, so many women developed a desire to have Lord Ram as their husband. But then Lord Ram understood their desire, but he could not do anything. He says, in this incarnation, I took a vow of Ekapati Vrata. I cannot have more than one wife. So, but in the future, I can fulfill your desires. So similarly, when he came as Matsyavatar, right? Matsyavatar, every incarnation has a specific purpose. When he came as Matsyavatar, all the female fishers were thinking, wow, this fish is a hot fish, I wish we can have his fish. I wish, this fish becomes my husband. So they were thinking this fish, thinking, wow, he's very hot. So, but then Matsyavatar fish says that, sorry, I cannot marry all of you. My incarnation purpose is to save the Vedas, scriptures, and I'm going back. I cannot do all these things. So he says that, okay, now there is another thing to fulfill the desires of, all these fishes and all these women who wanted to have him, their husband. So these are all the desires he had to fulfill somehow, right? And also, in Lord Ram Leela, Sita and Lord Ram, they go to Dandakaranya, right? Because they were banished, they go to Dandakaranya. Then when they were walking with sages, then they saw a pile of bones and skulls and everything. They see something. Then Lord Ram asks the sages, what are these skulls? What are these bones for? What happened here? Then the sage says that these skulls are basically the skulls and bones of all the sages. So there are so many demoniac persons in this forest. They killed so many sages, and all these skulls belong to these sages. Then Sita feels extremely, a lot of pain to hear that. Lord Ram and Sita feels extreme pain, and immediately Lord Ram gets extreme anger. He picks up his bow and arrow and says that I am going to kill all these demoniac people right now. So then Sita says, no, my dear Lord, do not do anything right now. I think looks like you are feeling all this, viryaras, and you want to fight and you want to kill all these demons because of your bow and arrow. So if you leave your bow and arrow, then you will not do these kinds of things. So then Lord Ram says, okay, so and right now, because I am a Kshatriya, anyway, I came with bow and arrow, but in the future, I will not have bow and arrow. I will not have bow and arrow. So then he comes as Krishna. But then what Krishna does? So Krishna's mama, Krishna's uncle, who is his maternal uncle? Kamsa. So in the culture, so the maternal uncle sends a lot of gifts to their nephews. Like Kamsa keeps sending so many demons as gifts to Krishna. But what kids do, they go and break all the toys. That's the nature of the kid. So the mama keeps sending toys and baby keeps destroying everything. So Kamsa keeps sending all these demons. what Krishna did not use any weapons. He just killed them with his hands, transcendental. So then Radharani gets upset. Radharani says, in the previous incarnation, I thought we had an agreement, right? So why are you killing all these demons? Then Krishna says that you go back and check our Zoom recording, our conversation. So I said I will not hold bow and arrow. I never said that I will not kill anybody. That was our agreement. So then Krishna says, Radharani says that, okay, this is not working out. So unless I give my mood to you, Krishna, unless I enter into your heart, you will keep killing these demons. So Radharani wanted to enter into the heart of Krishna to give that mood so that Krishna can transform people with his love, not with his weapons. So that's another reason Krishna comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not use any weapons to transform people, to change people, right? He gave only love. He did not use any weapons. So that's another reason why Krishna comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to give this love to everyone without using any weapons. So these are some of the greeds that that Lord developed, right? So in Krishna Leela, the desire, the greed of friendship, the Sakya Rasa, all those things are fulfilled by the Lord. But still, there are three greeds, three desires that were not fulfilled. So what are those three greeds or three desires that were not fulfilled in Krishna Leela or previous ages? To fulfill those three greeds or three desires, Lord Krishna comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now let's see what are those three greeds that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fulfilled. Okay, can you show that slide, Prabhu? CC Adi 1.6. So this is kind of a summum bonum of Chaitanya Charitamrita actually. This entire summary of Chaitanya Charitamrita is condensed in this one verse. Okay, so very, very important verse. CC Adi Leela 1.6. Can any of you recite this verse?
Pranaya Mahima Kisho Vanaiva Swadroina Bhava Madhima Kisho Madhya Saukyam Kyasamat Anubhavataha Samyeti Lobha Tatbhava Samadhi.
Thank you, Prabhu. So somebody can read the translation as well. Any of you?
Desiring to understand the glory of Radharani's love, the wonderful qualities in him that she alone relishes through her love, and the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love, the Supreme Lord Hari, richly endowed with her emotions, appeared from the womb of Srimati Sachidevi as the moon appeared from the ocean.
Yeah. So in this particular verse, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying, what are the three internal reasons? So we talked about all the external reasons before. So now what are the three internal reasons? What are the three greedy desires that were not fulfilled as Krishna and previous incarnations? To fulfill those three desires, Krishna appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as son of Sachi Devi. So what is the first greed? The first greed is basically what is the love of Radharani and how can I relish it? Radharani is extremely happy, blissful, experiencing the love of, when she is with Krishna. So what is that love that Radharani is experiencing? So to understand Radharani's love for Krishna, because see, Krishna cannot understand that, because he is the object of love. So he has to be in the other shoes to understand what is that love they are experiencing. So to understand Radharani's love for him, he wants to come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in that mood so that he can experiencing the same love that Radharani was experiencing. So that's the first thing. And the second greed, second desire that Krishna wanted to experience was, what is my excellent all attractive beauty and the wonderful qualities that Radharani alone relishes. So Krishna, we know those 64 qualities that Rupa Goswami mentioned in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, right? The four qualities that are specific to Krishna. Right? What are one of the four qualities specific to Krishna is Rupa Madhuri. Rupa Madhuri means Krishna is extremely beautiful, unparalleled. There is nobody more beautiful than Krishna. So one of the 4 special qualities of Krishna that are not even exhibited by Lord Vishnu is, one of them is Rupa Madhuri. So Rupa Madhuri means extreme beauty. So now Krishna is wondering, what is that beauty? What is that beauty that I have? Radharani is relishing. Radharani is able to experience my beauty. So I want to experience, I want to see, I want to understand my own beauty by becoming another person. And the third greed is, what happiness does Radharani feel when she realizes the sweetness of my love? So when I am showing my love to Radharani, Radharani is experiencing some kind of a bliss, extreme bliss. So what is that bliss she is experiencing when I am showing my love? So I want to experience the same thing. What is the nature of my love that Radharani is experiencing? I want to see that as well. So these are the 3 desires that were not fulfilled in Krishna Leela and previous incarnation. To fulfill these 3, so Lord Krishna comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? So these are internal reasons of Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, right? But of course, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, knowing the heart of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his associates knowing the heart of the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were able to provide this information. And by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we are able to understand this highest philosophy, highest and sublime philosophy. We are able to understand because of Srila Prabhupada got all these things to you. Otherwise, there is no way for us to understand the mood of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We cannot understand that. So it has to be given by our Acharyas. So those are the 3 Antaranga Karana, or internal reasons why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in this material world. And how these 3 desires were fulfilled by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Next week, Prem Sundu Prabhu will elaborate on that. Okay. So this is just a preview to understand why he appeared, and then next week we will hear more glories and more sweet pastimes of how merciful Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, and how he released the sweetness of this bhakti, the sweetness of Harinam Sankirtan. We will hear from Prem Sundu Prabhu next week. And just a reminder, next Sunday we do not have a Sunday feast program in the afternoon. The festivities begin at 4 o'clock in the evening. Okay, festivities begin at 4 o'clock. So please be on time so that we do not miss any nectar. Okay, we want to enjoy the festival to the fullest possible extent. So if you can be here by 4, we can experiencing all different types of rasas. Okay, come. Yes, sorry.
Those who want to do appreciate, please come on time.
Yeah.
Because it will end on time.
Okay. So I will stop here. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you.
Thank you. Now let's stand up. We'll put the mats aside. Chairs outside. Now, Aarti will start.